to entertain and also to serve their dignitaries. But as you are praising that vessels, these vessels, if these vessels can talk to you, these vessels will tell you that once where you are seeing me now, as I said, the proper clays that the potter uses is mostly not discovered from town centers or from the beautiful cities like New York or like Tokyo. Let's see Tokyo again. Or like France. Or like London. Those two vessels that you saw will tell you that I didn't begin from these beautiful cities. I was not made there. I was not born there. But I was made from a place which is far away home. A remote place. Like these places. Or a deserted places like these places. A place that nobody wants to go there. A place that nobody wants to call a home. A place that never becomes developed. A place that when tourists come to town, the mayor of the city never shows them this is part of my domain. A place that I will say they put poo-poo and other stuff there. That is where the potter saw me, my future. And when he saw me, he didn't leave me there. He put me in a sack. It was so much uncomfortable. And he brought me to his workshop. When he brought me to his workshop, I was ugly, I was bad, I was smelling. And all those who came in contact with me, they had to wash their hands or dust their feet before they were allowed into the potter's living room. Sun was beating on me, rains were falling on me, dew were on me. It was like I was rejected. Nobody wanted me. And the potter brought me to his potter's workshop. When he brought me to his potter's workshop, I said, wow, I think I am a bit privileged. As you see, that now they brought me to a place that I can call a home. Because now I'm not in that deserted place anymore. I'm now somewhere close to where human beings are. But I didn't know that there are processes, that is what a vessel will tell you, that I had to go through before I could become that great vessel that are being sought by kings, that are being sought by queens, that are being sought by high dignitaries, that are being sought by, secretary generals. So the first thing that the potter did was that I thought I was okay, not knowing that whilst he was leaving me outside, he was allowing the scent, the bad odor that I have to go away, and also he was allowing me to get a good texture so that I could be made. So he picked me up and he brought me into his tent. When he brought me into his tent, he took me again and he put me into a mortar. In Africa, we have a mortar and a pestle where we pound fufu and other palm nuts, whatever it is. The potter started kicking me. At that very particular time, because I had non-clay element in me, and every clay is supposed to be pure. So the potter was kicking me so hard so that those non-clay elements will leave. But I didn't know it. So as the potter was kicking me, it's a sign. This is how God deals with us. He brings us home and he doesn't use us straight away. We go through fathers who are potters. And every father who loves you will put you into the mortar and a pestle process. They will pound you, they will rebuke you, they will discipline you, they will suspend you, they will do everything to you. But as you are pounding it, you could see that some of the clays will fall out. But a good potter picks those clays back and bring them in again. But at the end of the day, some of the clays will fall up again. And he will bring some of them again. It's the same thing happening in churches and in homes. When sometimes fathers, because they know our future, they are taking us through the process We go through the ordeals of life. They smash us, they suspend us, whatever. It looks like at this very particular time, they are not interested in anything good we do. Are you hearing me? It's like this is the time that people become offended. And when they become offended because the pastor has suspended them, they leave the church. And one thing is that offense, as I wrote in the book, comes from two words, off and end. Whenever you become offended, you off yourself from the pipe of life and you end your giftings prematurely. Many people become offended in the church. They leave the church. They leave the men of God. They speak against them. But you could see their future. Some of them die physically, quick. And some of them also, their ministry ends. They don't go anywhere again. Why? Because they couldn't stand the discipline process. In the Bible, you could see that Samuel and Eli, those two people, they couldn't have good successes. Why? Because they refused to use the rod. Every father will use the rod. And after this, after he pounded it, the next thing he did was that he scooped it again. Then he started filtering it. And in the filtering, shaking it. In the filtering, what the potter does is that he's identifying broken stones, broken bottles, broken woods, anything that is, if it is part of the clay of the vessel will break. So the potter this time looks so crazy about it that I'm not looking for anything good, I'm looking for something bad. It's the same thing fathers deal with us. Any father who loves you doesn't concentrate much on your successes. But whenever you do something bad, that is the time they are looking for. They pick it up. At this time, if you are not careful, you call them, they are fault finders professionals. You say that, oh, I did something good, he never mentioned it in church. Oh, I did this and no one realized it. But as soon as something bad happened, the whole church knows it. Are you hearing me? It is the time that if those small non-clay elements, if they are not picked and they go through the next process, what will happen is that the clay will be made anyway, but once it goes through the fire, it will crack. Many people, because of lack of fathers, we couldn't humble ourselves or ask to go through these processes. And because of that, those elements, they couldn't pick it. Because they hit you once and you complain, the whole world knew that your pastor spoke against you or your father doesn't like you. The whole world knows it. And because of that, though to their human beings, they really paused. Now you can do whatever you want to do. But those vessels, they don't sit on the queen shelf. Those vessels, sometimes they use it to build stools. Why? Because they didn't wait. And after this sieving area, I have something I call the big red tree. The story about the big